hope welcome back to my channel. I promise you I will not have these glasses on this whole video. I actually just got these in the mail. The company Firmo, I believe is how you say it, contacted me and asking if I wanted to try out glasses. And of course, I don't wear glasses, I don't wear contacts, but I had recently been talking to my dad actually about how I'm always staring at my computer, I'm always editing, uploading, watching YouTube videos, etc. Okay, these are gonna drive me crazy, so I'm like not gonna wear them the whole video, so we're gonna pop them on my head. So I'm always editing, like I said, and doing stuff with my channel, and it is very hard to be staring at a computer for hours and hours and hours at a time. And like at night, when it's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting there and staring at the computer working on stuff, it's harsh on your eyes. And so there's this thing called a blue light, I believe that's exactly how it's called, what it's called, helps with the blue light in the background of a computer and phone screen and stuff with your eyes, and it helps make them not as tired and not have your brain as wired into them, you know? When this company reached out to me, I was like, oh my gosh, that's actually cool. Like, I actually want to try these glasses and see if it actually makes a difference. Well, I just got them today, so I'm not reviewing them. I'm just explaining why I have glasses on. So this is a long intro, but yeah, so I will let you guys know probably in a favorites video or something what I think of these. They're not paying me to say anything. They say when they sent them that it would be nice for me to mention in a video, so I'll probably mention in a favorites video if I end up liking them or don't like them or whatever, if I find them necessary. And I think they did send me a code, but I'll list all that once I talk about them more or like try them out more. Thought it'd be fun to start off the video with these glasses. So you see the blue with the ring light? That is the blue light in them. Today's video is on my eyeshadow palette collection. So I have about 2 stacks this high. Holy fudge. So I have 21 eyeshadow palettes, I believe. That includes, I have one that is a trio, and then the rest are all like at least 4 shadows, so at least a quad and up. This video, basically the point of it is just to show you my eyeshadow palette collection. I'm going to swatch. It's going to be kind of like a little swatch party here. We're going to swatch some of my favorite palettes, tell you what I like about them, reviews. I'm not really going to declutter any, although there's some palettes in here that I'm looking at that I believe I'm going to be decluttering soon. But I'm not going to declutter really any today, I don't think. I'm going to be more focused on just swatching stuff. And, okay, let me just sort these in a drugstore and high-end first. We'll just start with the 2 classic Urban Decay Naked palettes. You guys know these are just popular eyeshadows. I believe if you were to watch any beauty guru's channel, they probably would have at least one of the Naked palettes in their collection. It's just a classic. Looking at the original, I do get, well, both of them. This one I get bored with because I can do the same 2 matte shades in the crease, and pretty much the rest of these are all sheens and shimmers. So if I'm gonna do matte shade in the crease and do like one of these on my lid, or like this on my lid, or this on my lid. I'm not necessarily into dark shimmery shades on my outer portion. I like to use a little bit more of a matte color in the outer part of my lid, in like the crease area. So I wouldn't normally wear these shades. So that's why a lot of times I'm not really inspired by this, and I don't really love it as much because of that. And this is $54 when there's other eyeshadow palettes that are cheaper that are pretty much as good of quality. Now, okay, personally, if I were to have to say, I do think that the Urban Decay shadows, the shimmeries might be a little bit more creamy and intense, and you wouldn't necessarily have to wet them. Whereas sometimes with a brush, with this, let me pull up my chocolate bar palette because I use this one all the time. These 2 shades in the chocolate bar palette, which I'm kind of jumping ahead here, a lot of times I'm more likely going to wet my brush with those because they're shimmery, but they're not like intense metallic shimmery that I want them to look like. Naked palettes, I'm more likely going to just swatch it, put it on my lid, or not even a brush, I usually use my fingertip, use my finger on my eyelid, and it's good to go. It's not going to be one of those where I would have to necessarily wet my brush because I just don't think that's necessary. So that's what I like about these Urban Decay ones, but they are $54, and I'm not really interested in buying any of the other ones. I do like these, actually. If you were to ask me which palette I would recommend, I would probably say the chocolate bar, which I'll just cover these 2 right now. I kind of wanted to mix it up, but the Too Faced Chocolate Bar and the Too Faced Sweet Peach. I am interested in trying the milk chocolate. Milk chocolate one has been kind of on my radar, but I have other palettes that I would purchase before then. I love this palette. I recommend it in a lot of my videos. If you were to ask me, or if you were to comment on my video and say what is one high-end eyeshadow palette I should buy, It's my first one. I want some like neutrals, maybe a pop of color or two in there. I would definitely say a Too Faced Chocolate Bar. They blend really easily. They work very well with beginners. And the bonus of it smelling like chocolate, they're $48, so you're saving a little bit of cash, not a lot, but a little bit more than buying a Urban Decay one. And I feel like these are just easier to work with because they're not all shimmery. You get a matte here, a matte here, a matte here. You do get a variety, which is what I like with this one. And then also the Too Faced Sweet Peach, which I'm not really swatching a whole lot, but this palette is very pretty as well. I don't love the peach smell as much. It's an intense smell. I just don't love it as much as the chocolate. I would rather sit with this one all day, which I think this one's actually losing its scent because it's not as strong, and I've had this one for a couple years now. This one does have a lot more warm tones, so if you love warm tones, this one does have a little bit more variety of shades. It has warms, but it also has a few more pops of colors than the other one. I personally don't reach for this one as much, which I should. Maybe in the summer I will, maybe create a fun look. But it is a nice palette. Like, I do like it and I would recommend it. It's just kind of your taste of what you want. Do you want some swatches? I can swatch some. Not really going to hear your opinion if you don't or not. I mean, they're very, like, pigmented shadows and they're very pretty. Let's talk about some Drugstore. So actually, the Covergirl True Naked Roses. I use this this palette in a video of products I never try video. You guys, this palette is horrible compared to some of the new ones. We used to talk about these. I cannot get over how we used to talk about these Covergirl palettes and how they were good. They are very silky and smooth, holy cow. But if I were to sit and run my finger through this, I should actually just do it just to ruin the palette. I just probably dug like 3 inches in. Okay, maybe not that much. But like, look at how crumbly. And these, they're so silky and they're smooth, but I'm kind of scared to even blow it. But they're so powdery and just, like, did you see that? They just, like, I don't know, they're pretty, but they're chalky, and yeah. I don't recommend this palette. I tried using it, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this is a pretty shade. They're all just so powdery, and so, like, I don't know, I just don't really like this. I used to like it, but now that the Drugstore stepped up their game, we're like, why am I even talking about this? Another one that... Okay, well, another one. This is the Yofi Shadow Palette. You guys probably don't even know what this is, but I figured I would just throw this in here. We used to use these when I did dance competition makeup, and the reason why I save these is because for school events and stuff, when we have like football games and stuff, and we dress up like red, white, and blue out or something, this blue shade comes in handy because look at this. Are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, holy cannoli. This is just a pretty metallic, intense. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to find this, but if I can, I will link it down below. It is so pretty. The gray is okay, and the white is really powdery, so I don't really like the white, but I did a amazing red, white, and blue eye look during the football season, and in the past fall, and I got so many compliments, but it was so easy. I literally did red, white, blue. It was so easy, but this blue really made it pop. I also want to talk about this e.l.f. palette. I got this for Christmas, actually, in one of those gift sets. No, it's really not that great. I mean, it's got this pretty blue. If I wet my brush, it could look good. It's so sheer. I suppose if I wet my brush, it could look good, you know? But I'm just really not going to be spending the time on doing that when I'm getting ready. You know, I play around with the brighter colors in here. The more original shades, I'm not really going to touch. Sorry, I'm probably blinding you. But this is a palette that I would just pass on. I wouldn't, you probably can't even get this. This was just in a gift set. Honestly, you probably would give a kid this more. They're not horrible, but they're not like, you know, I wouldn't recommend it, you know. Okay, let's talk about some Shop Hush makeup. They sent over the Bad Habit Aphrodite. I don't know which one it is. 18 color eyeshadow collection. And I did do a whole video, I can link that down below, on all of these palettes and products they sent me. And I did try them out. And if you guys like watched my video, I don't really think this is worth your money. Which is interesting because a lot of people talk about how it is. And so I'm wondering if people are saying that because they getting it sent to them. Which I feel bad saying that. But like, you never know. I really wanted to try the Athena palette. They didn't send me the Athena, they sent me the Aphrodite. This one, I have to say, the shimmery shades, like these, are amazing. The mattes, once you put one on, it's fine, but once you go to blend it and build it up in the crease, like if I were to put this shade in my crease and try to build this one in the outer over here, it would just not layer very well. Here's that original, and then here's this one. They're very pigmented. They're very pigmented. But every time I try to play with it, it just never turns out the way I want it to. And I think that's just, they just don't build well. And I've noticed that with the trend with all of these, that they just don't build well. Especially the Bad Habit brand. But these shimmer shades, they're very pretty. Now, I don't think it's worth buying this whole palette just for the shimmer shades, but like, look at that. I don't hate this palette because I like all the shimmers, but I don't think it's worth paying and buying just buying this palette just for the shimmers, because it's like not even half the palette is shimmers. I didn't really love it. And they did send it to me, so I'm being honest with you guys. And I kind of feel the same about this one. First of all, this shadow is like broken and falling out. So that's the thing with these two. This is clearly trying to be a dupe for the Sweet Peach palette. Did they kind of make the right color scheme? I'm trying to make sure it doesn't fall. Yeah. Do I think that it's a dupe? No. The shimmer shades, again, in this palette are good. I just swatched this Cinnamon Sugar shade, and that's very pretty. It's a very, like, pretty shade, and I would wear that. I just really don't recommend these because of the mattes just don't build up very well. Step away from that for a little while. I have a lot of fallout on my desk. Let's go jump into another high-end palette. My Lorac Pro palette. I've never had an interest in buying the Pro 2, but I really have loved the original. I've hit pan on 3 shades. I used to recommend this for beginners, but now, or like one of my favorite, all-time favorites, now I don't love it as much because I've noticed that the shadows are so silky. I could sit and rub my finger in it and it would go right through and hit pan. That's just how they're pressed. They're more loosely pressed, but I do think that they're nice shadows, but I don't think they're necessarily the greatest for beginners. I love it, but it's not like my favorite one of all time, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for everybody. But I love it for traveling, because look at how skinny it is. Throw in another palette. I have the Essence All About Nudes eyeshadow. I used this in the Makeup I Never Use video, I believe. But you guys, they swatch nice, but I go to apply them on my eyes, and they literally blend to nothing. Like, in my video, I was blending, and I was asking you guys, like, can you see anything? Like, I could not see anything. And I really tried to make this work. I used it a few times, but man, oh man, every time it just, when I first got it, I tried applying these shadows like on top, like I had an eye look like this, and I had applied more, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be great, but no, just skip that one. Okay, let's talk about the Carli, Bybel, and BH Cosmetics. This is the old version. I want to try the new version, but it's not like really on my list to try it, so I probably won't for a long time. I really don't care for this palette because every time I go to use these shades, they swatch very nicely, but every time I go to, okay, that was the worst place to swatch. Every time I go to use them, on my eyes, they just don't look right. I don't know what it is, they just don't blend right. So, yeah, and then they have these darker, or not darker, they have darker, but these highlight shades that I like, but I'm not going to buy the palette just for those 4 highlight shades, you know? So, I don't really love this one. I have not tried the new one. A lot of people like the new one, so I'm kind of intrigued to try that one. Another high-end one is the Modern Renaissance by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I do like this palette a lot. I use it a lot. I feel like I've talked about it a lot recently on my channel. This one I have hit pan on 3 shades too, and yeah, this is my favorite shade over here, the Warm Taupe. I do like this palette. It's, again, one of those really powdery, loosely pressed ones, so you could really dig your finger in and be down to the bottom of a shadow if you really wanted to, really fast.